The Trump administration is pushing for regime change in Venezuela, and on the sidelines, some banks are salivating at the economic opportunities there. And joining us now to break down apparently a confidentially document plan of what one bank intends to do in Venezuela if regime change is achieved is senior contributor to the Intercept, Rafael Moreau-Martin. Welcome to the show.
Hello, how are you? Thanks for having me and for having the Intercept Brazil and the Intercept.
We're always glad to have contributions from the Intercept, both traditional and Brazilian. And so you got access to some confidential documents that show a really interesting plan that the Inter-American Development Bank has apparently been cooking up. Can you reveal what was in those documents?
Yeah, it's actually a pair of documents. They are both named Venezuela Challenges and Opportunities. And the IDB is foreseeing an up to $48 billion infusion of capital into Venezuela, but that is to happen only if President Nicolás Maduro is removed from office. In these documents, the IDB is outlining a 4-year plan to open the Venezuela economy to foreign corporations through privatization, structural reforms, and public and private partnerships.
So they have this plan for what they intend to do if there is a change in leadership in Venezuela. But is it crazy to believe that those sorts of plans existing and being talked about are actually contributing to the chance that that regime change does actually happen?
Well, this is just guessing, but I believe that once the plan is out, I think it's good for the opposition, Maduro's opposition, because they see they'll have all the support from they have the support from the U.S. and from Brazilian government as well, and now they know that there'll be money coming in as soon as they get rid of Maduro. So I believe having the plan for the day after Maduro is out is a great contribution to destabilize even more his regime.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I could certainly see that. I want to learn a little bit more about both the plan and how they intended to roll it out. So in your piece, these documents were supposed to be presented at the Inter-American Development Bank's meeting in China, but that meeting was actually canceled, correct?
Yes, it was canceled. This meeting was supposed to have occurred late March in China, but President Juan Guaidó, the self-titled Venezuela president, he indicated an economist called Ricardo Hausmann. He's a Mexican-born Venezuelan economist as his representative at the IDB. But as China didn't recognize Guaidó's legitimacy, they didn't allow Mr. Hausmann inside the country. Then the IDB called off the meeting. For what we heard from the bank, it's set to be rescheduled at some point, but there should be it's a parallel event called the business meeting. It's a business forum in which big companies from every sector in infrastructure, energy, and oil, they would meet and discuss the situation in Latin America in general, but we believe that they would discuss Venezuela in particular. And this business forum is not happening anymore, according to the IDB.
Interesting. So they had a bit of a setback, but it seems like the plan is not necessarily derailed.
No, it can be. You can call that a small Chinese victory, as they still supporting Maduro's regime.
So I want to talk to you a little bit about I guess sort of the tone of the plan or the expectations that the IDB will be able to put it into effect. The way that they're approaching the situation is that this is not simply a plan for if it happens that there's regime change. They very much are approaching this as it's going to happen, it's just a question of when, correct?
Yes, we heard from a source which is familiar with the IDB that inside the bank, regime change in Venezuela is not a matter of if it will happen, but when it will happen. So and actually, Mr. Hausmann, this economist that Guaidó named as his representative at the IDB, he's really familiar with the bank. He was the first chief economist for the IDB He's been doing some work alongside with them in the past year. So we can say that they have a plan pretty much ready for when it happens, when they see it happening, like Maduro is going out of power.
And for people in the US who might not be very familiar with the IDB, what is the relationship between either America generally and the IDB? Does Trump have any connection to it? Because obviously he's one of those who's pushing most aggressively in a variety of different ways for regime change in Venezuela.
Yeah, the IDB is the Inter-American Development Bank. They support infrastructure and health and education investments in Latin America and the Caribbean. The US they are the main shareholders for the IDB, which means that they have as much as 50% of the shares, which means you can say that the US is really powerful inside the IDB. We also heard from a source that this plan is being outlined by IDB, inspired by the Trump administration. We don't know if the White House directly asked the plan, or they are only inspiring the IDB to make the plan due to the aggressive posture that Trump he's adopting when it comes to Maduro.
Oh, well, that is fascinating, and some of the dark possibilities inherent in that. It's going to be interesting to see what else might come out in the future. And Rafael, we want to thank you again for joining us with a fascinating update on this situation.
Thank you very much for having us.
Anytime. Thank you very much for watching this clip from the Damage Report. If you liked it, don't forget to subscribe to this channel and ring the bell on YouTube to get notifications of our new videos. And of course, you can catch the full Damage Report live every weekday at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific on TYT Network on YouTube TV.